Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Kid Icarus on the Wii Virtual Console. It's time to enter the Sacred Wars and start this video off at the beginning of World 2-2. That's where we ended it in the last episode. It's a good place to end, because right at the beginning of this level is a God of Poverty room, and it lets us basically reset over and over again until we get the credit card. You don't really need the credit card, but I'm trying to get like 100% completion, so I want to get every single item. Luckily, I was able to get the credit card on the first go, so I got lucky there. I also got lucky too. I managed to get the arrow upgrade, which is kind of a little bit of a tight squeeze to get, but it is possible to get, as I show here, but it requires a little bit of farming and basically entering all the monster rooms. Luckily, this room is first because you lose skill points when you break these pictures. So, but once we, since we start the level with zero skill, we can't go to negative. So breaking all these pictures doesn't give us any negative points, and we're able to start off fresh by grabbing these hearts and getting plus 500 skill for each of the hearts that we grab, each of the big hearts that we grab. Be able to grab a whole bunch of more big hearts and get more skill points by going through these two enemy rooms. Unfortunately, I don't do too well in these two enemy rooms. I defeat all the enemies, get their hearts, but I take a little bit of damage, and you lose skill points for taking damage. But luckily there's enough that I'm able to still get the skill up, the arrow upgrade, despite taking the damage. So get the two, there's a next Speck Nose room. So even after defeating all these Speck Noses, we still have to do just a little bit of grinding just to be safe. But luckily, right before or on the same screen that the room is where we can get the next arrow if we have enough skill points, these monsters drop from the sky, and they drop a 10 heart, big heart here. So you basically get 1,000 points if you defeat the enemy and then grab its heart. So it's a good place to pick up the last bit of the skill points. With 500 for defeating an enemy and then picking up their heart, you can basically get like 16,000 from those two Speck Noses rooms. And then you get about 2,000 for the 500 for the 4 hearts that you pick up that are worth 500 each in the God of Poverty room. See, if everything goes according to plan, you should only need to basically take out probably like 4 of these guys for about 2,000 points. But then you want to take out just a few extra, just because, remember, you do lose 10 points every time you shoot an arrow, and you do lose points for, taking damage. So I was afraid I took a little too much damage in those Speck Nose rooms, but if I did, then, and I wouldn't get that arrow upgrade, I could just, reset, because I have the Sacred Wars to restart the beginning of the level. But just like with the credit card, I managed to do it on the first go, so I got really lucky. Luckily, we find a nice hot spring here to refill our life, and that's going to be really important because this level, and the next level are 2 of the longest in the game, and there's not a lot of places where we can heal ourselves up. In some of the worlds in the underworld, it was at the beginning, because it's at the beginning of the game, they threw out a few chalices that heal up 8 hit points. Not really going to find them in these levels, so we're going to have to make sure our health lasts. There's so many damaged terrain that it's going to be difficult, and a whole bunch of enemies. so it's going to be a hard task. I'm going to actually end up losing a few of my bottles. So this is where it comes in handy, where we got the barrel earlier. We have some reserve bottles. So we have these Pluton enemies. They don't deal any damage to you. You can't defeat them. You just have to avoid them. If they touch you, they'll steal the last treasure that you got. So if I got hit by one of them, I would have lost the wand that's giving me those 2 crystals around myself. And then if the second one would have hit me, then I would have lost the bow and arrow that shoots further. Well, actually just the bow that shoots further. I should have said that. Bow that shoots the arrows further. But yeah, luckily I was really close there that I almost got hit by that one. It was very close, but I managed to avoid anything, so. And these snowmen are in a bad place, because you notice that the terrain they're on is skinny tile. So ducking down in the skinny tile would cause you to drop through it, and you'd fall into the water, and that would be an instant death. Luckily we have feathers to counter that. But I was saying they're in a bad position because, see, they shoot these snowballs at you, and you can avoid the snowballs by ducking. So your first inclination might be, you know, I'm just going to duck down and avoid the snowball, but then that'll send you into the water below. So you just gotta kind of ignore your instincts and take damage or jump. Now, one of the good things is, even though I used up all those feathers with the to get the Sacred Wards in the last episode, apparently the Sacred Wards, they take into account what you had at the beginning of the stage when you entered. So I actually have several feathers in reserve now. I could actually bought another bottle instead. And that's also going to work out because to get the Sacred Wards at the end of this episode, I'll take a death. So I'll use up all my bottles, but when I enter those Sacred Wards to restart the game in the fortress, I'll have all the bottles that I lost to get the Sacred Wards. So it's nice that the game basically gives you a password that accounts for all the items in your inventory before you are forced to lose them to get the password. Luckily these platforms, even though they share the same color as the ice, they aren't slippy, so you get a little bit of a reprieve from danger. Okay, now we get back to these things, and the thing that has snow on platforms that have snow on them are slippy, so you see me doing a lot of tap jumping to try to lose any momentum that I have. I don't want to slide off and fall into the water. Pit cannot swim. There's more speck noses here. We used a lot of hearts to buy stuff, but it's okay because a lot of these enemies are giving hearts back. A lot of enemies are giving back big hearts now. Those rock monsters are really good for the hearts because they only take one hit to take out, and they drop that big heart. Now we don't necessarily have to have, now that we have the credit card, we can actually buy items if we don't have the money, the hearts required to buy them. But what happens then is you go into debt, and any heart that you collect instantly goes back to the merchant to remove your debt. So I guess it's better than a regular credit card in reality because you don't get any interest, and you don't, accrue interest and end up paying back more than what you owe because of the interest rates. Yeah, no interest in Kid Icarus, and you're not allowed to carry that debt. And, anything you get automatically goes to paying off the debt. Then you won't get any positive hearts until the debt is paid off. But speaking of paying off, our endurance paid off, and we managed to finish this level. I said almost 10 minutes to complete it. And this next level is pretty much just as long and is even more deadly. It doesn't have ice, but it does have a lot of tricky jumps, especially toward the end. So, I'm going to be careful, but that's where the feathers are coming in handy. And even if you don't use any feathers here, next world, the Skyland, is going to be back to the vertical scrolling, like the first, the Underworld was. So the feathers will be really good for surviving falls. It's going to be like the Underworld, where when you scroll off the bottom of the screen, it just becomes an instant death pit. And being Skyland, there's going to be a bunch of them anyway, so... These frogs they kind of look almost like the nettlers that just walked and were able to duck your arrows, but they were red in color. Saw them in the Underworld. Luckily, the jumping ones don't duck, so... But they do get in your way. They get annoying because, especially at the end, where I was saying there's quite a few tricky jumps. Because they'll be jumping around looking to hit you and knock you off platforms and make jumps treacherous. Reminds me of getting a Super Mario Brothers vibe in World 3 when you're finally the background turns dark, like you go into the night. So we got another God of Poverty room here. I'm going to look at the sheet I have to see what one I need to break. I got 3 mallets. That lets me know that the God of Poverty is in the upper left. So I'll just destroy that one last, and we get a good bottle here. So we don't need anything else. Will be kind of useless. We have 4 feathers, which should be way more than enough to get through the game, and it would be nice to max out our bottles at 8 before the game is over. Might be a little tough though because we're not using the cheat to intimidate shop owners. We did get the 4th hour upgrade, so when we get to the next world, we'll be able to intimidate shop owners there. So yeah, any other shop owners remaining in the game, we are strong enough to intimidate them. As I said, remember the shop owners can be intimidated based on if your power is greater than the world that they're in. There's no shops in World 4. Shops end in World 3, so once we hit power level 4, which we did, every shop owner will be intimidated by us. So, once again, just as a reminder to intimidate shop owners, you press A and B on the controller plugged into the second player port. So I could set that up with the Wii, but like I said, I'm not gonna bother. I'm just not gonna cheat. I try to go through these games without, doing exploits. Here we got another training room here. All we have left to grab is the fire arrow, so we'll pick that up. You can regain items that, like if any of those Plutons stole an item from you, and you don't feel like buying it back because they're really expensive in the black market shops, you just come back to these places and win the item again. See, if I get an item stolen from me, I don't have to worry about buying it because there'll be other training rooms that I can go into to get those items back. But I'm gonna try my hardest to obviously avoid having an item stolen in the first place. Luckily, in the next world, the Plutons are really annoying, basically just in this world, the overworld, because they're random and they jump around, so they're more difficult to avoid. In Skyworld, they basically just hover left to right, and then if they see you, they make a mad dash towards you. but they're much easier to avoid. So those plutons are only basically going to be a problem for this final level here. Because once you get, like I said, and here's something, if you wait around in the shop long enough, after you buy something, the shop owner will restock. So this would have been a good chance to, you know, like I said, if we did use that intimidation, we could intimidate that guy. Probably end up getting 4 bottles rather than just the 2 we could afford. But, well, if I have to farm for hearts to max out my bottles, I will. The fortress, though, coming up, though, we're going to be going through a lot more rooms than we did in the first fortress. And a lot of the rooms will have enemies that drop big hearts. So we should get a fair amount of hearts in the next fortress. So you just wait until the platform goes through those thorns. Then take a light jump as the platform's rising up to get over the pit. And you don't want to have a full jump, because otherwise you'll hit you'll hit your head on the thorns. So I get unlucky. I'm down to like 2 hit points. So if I get hit here, I use up another bottle, which I don't want to do. But unfortunately, I don't get hit here, but I do get hit before I reach the end of the level. And I'm having trouble hitting those speck nodes as they fly across, but got him. These orbs are pretty good. We're going to get, they're good for taking out those, like Magoo enemies, and ones that kind of function like Magoos, like those ant lions that we saw in the last stage. Yeah, here they are, right there. You just kind of squat down, and you can just slide over to them, and then the crystal will take them out. So, too bad there's no more hot springs. Like I said, we had that one hot spring there. We had to make our life last. But we do have a few bottles, so it's okay that I do get hit here. Yeah, if you didn't have bottles, you can see how this area can be quite a challenge. And here we're getting toward the end of the area where we got these bunch of thin platforms you got to jump around, and we got the frog enemies getting in the way. Minos enemies, they're annoying too, because the crystals can take them out, but only if the crystal is right below you and they hit it as they're coming up. They always seem to time it really in their favor, where they hit you when the crystals are sitting on your side. You can see you use the crystals there to take out these like ant lions and farm. If we want to, but we're gonna get a whole bunch of hearts in the fortress, so no need to farm. And we're getting pretty close to our last health upgrade. Just a little under 30,000 more points. The last health upgrade comes at 200,000 points. So here we are in the second fortress. Like I said, it's a little bit bigger than the first fortress. And unfortunately, we'll have to use up all our bottles here, but remember the password will give us those bottles back, so we're lucky there. Yeah, it stinks that you can't just, you know, do like a select thing and summon up the password. But in Metroid, there's a way you can just go to the password screen and pick it up, but and the sequel to this, of Myth and Monsters, which came out for the Game Boy, it actually has a save feature, so you don't have to worry about like passwords. But for now, we gotta worry about passwords, so here they are, and that's what we'll use to start the next episode. Take care, have a good one, bye.